we're going to be taking a look. I can't talk today. We're going to be taking a look at a game called, well, I'll tell you the games in a sec. We're going to be looking at 3 indie games. These are your games that you guys have posted and that you want me to review. And so I'm going to review them and see what I think. The best part is at the end of today's live stream, we're going to basically just look and see not only what is my favorite game, what's the best game in my opinion, and by best I just mean is it commercially viable? Which one is the most commercially viable? And I guess the most well-rounded demo. But also number 2, you guys are going to vote as well. There's a link in the description. Do not click it yet. Let's click it after we've looked at all the games together. Sound good? All right. Good. Hey, wanted to say a huge thank you to, I'm gonna botch this name here. Thierry D, Thomas S, Anish B, Sergio K, and David W. Thanks so much for joining Full-Time Game Dev. It means the world to me, guys. When you join Full-Time Game Dev, obviously it supports the channel and supports my next game, Twisted Tower, and also potentially Brave Boy. We'll talk about Brave Boy, which is another game I'm working on. But yeah, it supports the channel, but more importantly, it does support you guys, right? If you're interested in learning how to make indie games and do it full-time from your bedroom, now obviously I can't make any promises, but I can tell you what I've done and what I continue to do to this day, then check out Full-Time Game Dev below. It's 25% off. Now, if you click the link below, it's going to generate a coupon code for you. That's 25% off, and that coupon code is going to last for 5 days. So be sure to check it out. You got 5 days left, basically. 25% off, and you're going to get a bunch of free courses as well. It's really cool. The cool thing about this course is several of my students have gone full-time. It's pretty amazing because going full-time indie is actually really it's really difficult. Making games is one thing, but making games that actually generate money that you could stay full-time, that is a tough order. Chris Stair did it. Bart Mamser did it. Everflux Games did it. Got some incredible reviews here for this course. It's pretty amazing. Soltar did it. Antonio DB did it. Thomas Stewart did it. These are people who went full-time and they took a ton of information from this course and did it. So check it out below. It's 25% off. And by the way, if you're a student, let me know in the chat what you think about the program. All right. Thanks as always for letting me read sponsored reads for my live streams, guys. It means the world. It helps support me and the channel and the podcast. And it keeps helping. It helps me keep creating content for you guys, which I love to do. All righty. What's the first game? Hey, come on in, guys. Let me see if let me see if I can fix this here. Pull this over here. There we go. All right, let me see if I can pull my chat. I got a new monitor right there that I'm looking at. I can't really read the chat, so we're probably going to put it over here. Okay, how we doing? Come on in. Foxite says, are you still going to make Brave Boy, Thomas? I have a demo. It's done. I've been so focused on Twisted Tower. I'm sort of banking all of my hope on Twisted Tower being a good game, and actually just to give you guys some credibility as to why maybe, I don't know, some of you probably are wondering, why should we listen to this guy? I just launched my demo yesterday, and so far I've put my money where my mouth is in terms of leaving the demo page public. You don't have to do this. This can be private. Who knows, maybe I'll make it private one day. I'll be completely honest. If the reviews start turning bad, I don't know why they would. I would be tempted to turn it private, but my money's where my mouth is, and so it's public right now, and so you can actually see reviews. So we're almost at 500 reviews for the Twisted Tower demo, which came out 4 or 5 days ago. So it's doing really well. And so I guess my point is that you should listen to me. Kind of, not really. I have some good things to say, and I'm not perfect, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this first game here, Massi versus Jose. Would you ever consider reviewing more common games like Elden Ring? No. because I like hanging out with you guys. I like the indie community. I like people who make indie games. I'm fascinated by the process of making indie games because it's such a difficult process. And it's also very, it's like almost impossible. Like what I mean is it's just like, it's always a miracle when an indie game is released and it starts making money. Because it's a hard thing to do with those kind of constraints. Indie constraints. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the first game here, which is Massi versus Jose. And I'm going in blind, guys. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get an idea of the commercial viability of a game. And so what I do is I approach it, I'm trying to do this more, approach it just like a new, fresh gamer. And how I would perceive, not only the marketing, the trailer and the thumbnail, but also play the game. And let's just perceive it together as a gamer. This is good for the developer. In this case, it's Gamus. It's good for Gamus, the developer, to see this video because they can see how an actual gamer is going to perceive everything from the marketing all the way to the game. So right off the bat, the artwork here is, I don't know what the hook is really. I mean, you always want to present your hook, and that's the thing that makes your game really unique and special and captures an audience. It needs to be obvious, okay? And it's not obvious to me here. It's like we've got a guy kidnapping a cat, and there's a woman who wants to help the cat, which is not a hook. There's nothing unique there. 2D pixel art platformer with challenging levels, collectibles, achievements, and leaderboards. There's no hook here. This is sort of rudimentary base level games. Play as Massi and rescue cats from your brother. Now, I like to think that Twisted Tower has a hook. It's not necessarily a mechanical hook. It's primarily the visuals and the story. And I've always said that when it comes to hooks for my game, I'm not very good at creating mechanical hooks, but I am pretty stinking good at coming up with visual hooks, right? This right here, in my opinion, and I'm showing this just to give you an example because I've been through this process of really fine-tuning a thumbnail to present the hook. The thumbnail is supposed to pretty much say everything that's of value with your game as efficiently as you can, okay? So right here with the Twisted Tower demo, in particular Twisted Tower, because I think the demo, that little splash over the corner is kind of ruining it. But this was painstakingly created with everything in mind. The hammer exactly in that position so that we get this vibe of Looney Tunes. But we also wanted to show the gun because we want people to know it's not just a walking sim, it's a shooter. So we want to show the shotgun. We wanted to show blood because it's kind of a horror game. We wanted to show these flags and this castle because we want it to feel kind of like Disneyland. We wanted to show the spiral so that it communicates Alice Madness Returns vibes. We wanted to show the mascots because the mascot horror community is going to like this. It's all, the BioShock influence, we wanted to make sure that it felt like a BioShock front cover. Okay? So you want your thumbnail to strongly communicate every hook you've got and what the game is and what's the genre. You want it to pretty much do all the work for you. Now, I understand that a lot of people don't do this. A lot of studios, like for example, Toby Fox didn't really do it with Undertale. But I would argue that in this day and age, if you don't have a name for yourself, with the heavy competition we have, not only do you have to be unique, you have to get your point across immediately with that thumbnail. Okay? Does that make sense? Stream volume. You want me to turn it up, guys? How's that? Are we good? All right, cool. We're good? We're good? Are we good? So, guys, is this helpful, by the way? Reviewing Steam pages. Do you like to look at the Steam pages before we play the game? I genuinely want to know. Do you want this information? Check 1 2 and 2. Check. Let me turn it up. Check. Is that better? A little bit more. There we go. All right. Cool. So this helpful to you guys. So this thumbnail to me doesn't communicate a hook. And in fact, I don't know if there is a hook necessarily with this game. I am not trying to be mean. I am trying to be helpful. Because if this game's not out yet, then we need to put a hook in fast. Some kind of hook. And we'll talk about what the potential hooks could be. 2D pixel art platform with challenging levels, collectibles. None of this is unique. Play as Massi and rescue your cats from your brother. That's not unique. There's no unique hook here. I'm not saying it's not a good game. I'm saying it's going to be very difficult to market this. It's going to be very hard to sell this game with no hook. Let's go ahead and hit play here. Okay, so first off, the logo does not need to be over the gameplay. It feels like there's something on my glasses. It's that same feeling of like, what is that? Get off, stop. I want to be able to see through. Like, this is so annoying. Remove that now. Get rid of it, why? Okay. So you just wasted 7 seconds of my time. Explore new worlds. Okay. So there's no hook here. And so the question is, how do you create a hook out of this? If it were me, I would change the main character to a dog. That's a subtle adjustment, and it makes just a little bit more interesting. So imagine a dog and a cat and they're best friends, and a cat burglar comes and snatches the cat. And the dog has to save the cat, which is interesting because dogs don't like cats. So it's a very simple tweak. I'm not saying it's going to change much, but that's the kind of stuff that will help the game sell. When you go, who cares about Massi? Who cares about Jose? But I do care about cats and dogs because they hate each other, and it's funny that they love each other. It's something very simple like that could solve this problem. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what I would potentially do, and I would call it cat and dog, or cat loves dog or something. And I would show the dog like this, and then I'd show the cat. And that's it. That's about as much information as I can bring to creating a stronger hook, and that's purely just a story and visual hook. There's nothing mechanical there. I would definitely, if you were to change this to a dog, you could change. This is the thing that I think a lot of game developers forget. Oftentimes, the greatest, most unique games are just the same game in different wrapping paper. Now, obviously, Hollow Knight's an incredible game, and it's a very solid Metroidvania. But can you imagine how poorly or how less successful that game would have been had it not been wrapped in this beautiful hand-drawn bug environment? So if you're gonna make a game where the logo is a cat paw, make the characters animals, and then make all of the currency treats, and make the environments a cat. What do you call the cat jungle gyms you can buy? Make the environments about dogs and cats. Like, really go in on cats and dogs. You know, dig deep into that theme. You can make a standard platformer, but just go hard with a theme, and that's what I had to learn with this game. I had to go, none of it looked like this, even 2 years in. Most people didn't even know it had a carnival vibe. We had to go in and make it, and retroactively make it a carnival vibe. All these enemies, they did not look like this. They were zombies. but I had to go in and retroactively change everything to fit a theme. And the theme is really the only thing that's unique. But you can get away with it and it works. Does that make sense? All right. Let's go ahead and play this first game, okay? Okay. Music's great. Right. Oh, that felt good. I wish there was a hover effect. He's listening to music, meow, bam. She's listening, it looks like a guy. And he comes in and he steals the cat. Okay. It feels really good. I was looking at that, sorry. Camera P. That's fun. Honestly, it feels great. I think that we definitely need sound. You guys know I'm always going to jump into this, like almost immediately. Whenever I hear a game, most games, in my opinion, they rely heavily on loud music and they don't realize the value in distance between notes, allowing ambience to come through. So if I type in factory ambience on YouTube here, oh dang, there's no settings. But having the sound of like a factory or wheels or cogs turning, and then a subtle arpeggiated music on top. Spitting all over my mic. What's the point? And by the way, one of the best games that does this is Mind Over Magnet. You've got the sound of ambience. You've got subtle music sort of arpeggiating and sort of echoing through the world. It feels like the world is making the music, right? So if you take a look at Mind Over Magnet's soundtrack, it's one of the best soundtracks. Listen. So I wish I could mute this. Let's do it. I'll show you here. This is the importance of music. Why is this music important? Why am I showing you this? Because this music has room to breathe. It allows for ambience and also sound effects of the player to come through. Whereas currently, there's no room for anything. I can't hear anything. It's just loud. Footprints or footsteps, jumping sounds. Overall, it feels really good though. I like that cash sound. Oh, got stuck. Whoa, those are fun. Okay. How do I move the camera again? I forgot. Was it Q? O? What was it? Do you guys remember? Yeah, guys, here's the thing about making old school games. If you're going to make an old school game, you can't make it the way they made them in the 90s. In the 90s, they could make any character part of platforming, and it's fun, you know, and it's unique. A plumber. Oh, that's unique. Not anymore. You have to come up with some strong sort of hook. Some character that's contrasting the world or unique to the world. And so I'm not sure that this game will be able to stand out with its current theme. That was cool. I liked how she spun. It looks amazing and plays amazing. I'm mainly thinking about the marketability of it. All right. Yeah, there's nothing super unique here. Again, solid game feel, good artwork, good UI. Nothing is bad. It's just the marketability of it is truly difficult. It's going to be difficult to market this. If there was a strong mechanical gimmick, like you could play as the dog or the cat, and each has different like senses or abilities, that's something, you know. Like if there was no cutscene and we didn't see the title of this game, I would have no idea what the theme of this game was. Okay, let's move on to the next game. I have an idea in my head of what that game is, what the score is going to be. Let's move on to Kronostasis. Kronostasis, I can't figure out what this game is. But again, guys, I'm looking at these blind, and I'm also looking at them as if I was a gamer just about to play the game, which is, I think, important for the developers to see. And by the way, those of you just joining us, just remember, you can join Full-Time Game Dev today for 25% off for the next 5 days. Once you click that link, the coupon code will generate for you personally, and it will last for 5 days. So check it out below. So for me, it's 4 days because I started it yesterday. This is a massive program. It's going to teach you how to get funded and how to go full-time indie. It basically just teaches you how to do what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And some of my students have done just that, which is really, really cool. So check it out below, 25% off. And I'll give you a shout out tomorrow, like I've got here. Yeah, so this game, I'm looking at the thumbnail. I always start at the thumbnail. Why? Because the thumbnail is, I guess the reason I start there is because the thumbnail is the place where it should be the place that can communicate the quickest what the game is. It's sort of the foundation to your Steam page almost. If you can't quite communicate what your game is through your thumbnail, in my opinion, the rest is lost. You need to figure out how to communicate what your game is with your thumbnail immediately, in an instant. Super duper fast. Bang. Oh, I think I know what it is. Oh, it looks like it's a weird like Bioshocky Disney game. See? It's like instant. And maybe I'm giving myself too much credit here. But I think that this works, right? So with Kronostasis, it looks like a weird Dali. Is that his name? The painter, Dali. First-person shooter. Okay, so let's continue here. A fast-paced FPS following a sci-fi story, taking inspiration from Greek mythology and blending it with fantasy elements. Okay, that can be shortened. Let's ask ChatGPT to shorten that for us. That definitely can be shortened. That was a mouthful. Take this sentence and make it short and sweet. Yeah, that's it. What is she going to say here? A fast-paced sci-fi FPS inspired by Greek mythology and fantasy. Look at that. It's so important. Brevity is king. Brevity is king. Again, for those of you who want to see the sentence here, look at this sentence here. This is just one of my favorite things to do. That is a great hook. A Greek mythology first-person shooter. That's awesome. I would get rid of this. A fast-paced FPS inspired by Greek mythology. I would even do this. Inspired by Greek mythology and fantasy. Actually, I would just maybe even do this. Because FPS is here, FPS is here, FPS is here. So it's just a Greek mythology first-person shooter. I love that. As a security robot aboard a deep space mining vessel, you must face an unknown threat when crew members start turning into creatures of ancient myth. I think that's cool. I wonder if you could explain it through a little bit, like make it make more sense to me, because I'm trying to figure out like how does that work. So maybe you could say something like, while aboard a deep space mining vessel, a black hole opens up and the Greek gods of old come through the portal. You explain the mechanics of the story. Greek gods come through a portal. Oh, they were real all along. Something like that. Give me clarity about how this actually makes, like, how does this actually happen? And that'll make so much more sense to me. Because when I visualize a black hole and Zeus walks through it on a spaceship, that's awesome. And so I would recommend doing that. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's take a look at the trailer. Okay, I already lost track. One sec. That's cool. It's hard to hear that. So I think a lot of that was just too much exposition. This is most of these demo trailers should be about a minute. I think I've got a minute here. What did I do for my trailer? There we go. 59 seconds, yeah. What did David Whaley do? David Whaley is the standard bearer, by the way, guys. If you ever want to know who to follow, it's David Whaley. Let's take a look at We Harvest Shadows. What did he do? 2 minutes, David. No, I disagree with you. I totally disagree with this. But hey, he's probably right. I'm going to stick with a minute, though. I think you should do a minute. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, so too much is being communicated here. What you have to do with a trailer is you have to say, what are the 3 things that I want to communicate? Okay? And this is, again, it's not about you communicating exactly what your game is to a T. Instead, what you're trying to do is say, hey, this game is worth your money. And you're trying to communicate as fast as possible why this game is worth their money. Okay? So what I would do is I would say, what do I want to communicate? Action. 2. Mythology. 3. Art style. No. Space. I'd go, what are the pillars of my hook? Now, that's all I'm going to show. And every voiceover is leading us through those 3 pillars. Now look, you could say, well, the mythology is part of the story. So you could say, okay, well, I can put some story into this trailer. But you want to make sure that story is highly focused on mythology. Warning. You could do this. You could have a voice actor like, and by the way, that voice actress she sounds like AI. I'm not sure if she is, and it's fine. It's just everything's AI now with voice acting for these demos. If you want to stand out, hire a great voice actor for like $500 on voices.com. But you could have it start with like, warning alarms. Woo, 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 and you can have a voice say, warning, we have just encountered a alien species that has broken through a portal, a black hole portal. All hands on deck, blah, 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 blah. And you show a centaur come through a portal. And then experience Greek mythology. In space. Play the demo now. Super simple. Nothing else. Okay? We don't need all this fluff here. There's so much going on. This is cool. I really like that. Yeah, there's so many more options for music. I feel like what you want to do is you want to find a cinematic song. So what I tend to do is I'll go to like Artlist. Artlist is expensive and I don't recommend it. I use it for my project for Twisted Tower. Not for the music, but there is good music. Actually, no, I haven't used it for Twisted Tower's music. But you could type in cinematic sci-fi on here, and you could find something that probably could generate more of a narrative, because the way these songs are written is that they have like an arc to them. Like I would assume something like this one. Let's see. Experience the Greek mythology in space. And then it drops. Put some story and exposition. Swell to combat. Yeah, it's the music you're looking for a trailer looks like, the waveform looks like this. You have drops for narrative, and it scales back for explosive combat, right? And action. In fact, the best ones you'll start right around here, okay? Just like David is such a masterful storyteller. The way his trailer is inverted to something like Choo Choo Charles. Choo Choo Charles, we've talked about this before, but Choo Choo Charles, the way his trailer works is it starts with action and then dips down, which is my recommendation as well. Whereas David's, it starts slow, and it worked out for him, but I think that's a risky move. And dip down here. See how it drops? That's what you want with your music, right? You want it to start big and then drop down. So you could do, let's find another one here. What's this one? Hang on, I'm finding one. Here we go. You can just see it with your eyes. It's so cool. No. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, speed up the trailer. And you cut it at the 1, 3, 4, cut, 2, 3, 4, cut, 2, 3, 4, cut, 2, 3, 4. So you always want to cut on the 1, 2, 3, or 4, obviously. If we could stop this here. So yeah, that's what I would do with the music. I would find a track on Artlist.io or Epidemic that has variability to it. Like right here, it drops down. Great moment to do voice acting for the story, you know? Swell to action right there. There we go. Does that make sense? And I can give you guys an example of this. Hate to keep jumping into my stuff. I'm just trying to show you. I've just been through all of this. And so I want to give you what's fresh on my mind. I did the same thing with the Twisted Tower trailer. Look, notice all the drops. And by drops, I mean the emotional drops, and then it rises and then stops, and then rises and then stops. We start with action. And then we drop. Story. So we hooked the player with action. Now we go into the story.
Did she reject your proposal, lad? Or was it the money that made her sad? Take this ticket, don't delay.
We're going to go back into the action. Here we go. Ramp up and bang. Very simple story. Drop. Second drop. So you're hitting beats and you're telling the viewer how to feel. You don't just have a track playing. You have a track that has like a chorus and a bridge and a drop, a crescendo, right? All those things. And sometimes you have to cut those up and mix it into your trailer. And sometimes, a lot of times, I don't even think this song worked for that, but I knew what beats I wanted to share and what crescendos I needed. And so I cut up the song and made it work with stuff like this. You could do cinematic drop. Go to sound effects here. This is great for trailer work, by the way. If you have a cinematic drop like this, so you can use that kind of stuff to transition between high action moments, dropping down to nothing, and it's very calm and it's more of a story moment in a trailer. You can use stuff like this where you have guns, shooting, drop. Did she reject your proposal, lad? Drop it down, and you do it with those transitions. Okay, so overall, I think I love the hook. I think there is a hook here. First-person shooter with mythology in space. That's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the game. But I think the marketing could be a little bit more focused. I think it's a little broad right now. Thank you, Foxite. I actually got rid of the brightness slider from my demo. It was causing problems. This is cool. This feels really good. Ooh, I'm getting Halo vibes. Brilliant. During long space voyages, advanced robots are used to assist the crew and keep operations running. On Earth, these robots are tested and calibrated prior to each mission. Dang it. It's really troubling when you see a sequence and there's no sound.
Hello. I hope it will be fine if I refer to you as Ivo. The backup security operative will be an SDO unit after all. My name is Galeen. I am the AI interface of the Phlegathon deep space mining vessel, and you have been assigned to be the lead safety and security operative aboard the ship. In order to clear you for deployment, it is necessary that you complete the following calibration tests. Start by moving around to check your kinetic systems. Good luck.
So I think this is a throwback method, and a lot of indie games are doing this right now, where when you start, you're narrated with an AI voice and it narrates you through how to play the game. It's just not it. I don't think it works anymore. I think you have to teach the player while they're playing, and you have to do it with intuitive design within the level. I didn't need to hear all that. I know how to move. I didn't need to hear that. It's kind of like I have 5 seconds to get excited about this game, or else I'm just gonna go find another game to play. And I'm speaking as a gamer. This is what Steam gamers are thinking. They're playing demos, especially during Next Fest, and they're gonna be like, "Okay, I'm done. I don't have time for this. I got 20 other demos I want to play." You got to get to the point. So if you're going to give exposition, make sure it's absolutely necessary. There is exposition with my demo, but it's absolutely necessary. It gives motive, setting, character, the character flaw, where we are, where we're going. It gives all of that in 20 seconds. Maybe it's 30 seconds. Instantly, almost immediately. And then after that, the player's free to roam. But it's not giving me exposition about movement.
Everything seems in order. Next, please verify your interfacing subsystems by interacting with the console over there.
I wish there was a sound.
This next test always seemed like fun to me. Jump over the gap and continue to the next area.
Yeah, I don't know if I need her. And if you're going to have her, I highly recommend finding a voice actress to do it. A strong, competent voice actress on voices.com. The AI voices are really bugging me. I don't know if that's an AI voice, but it sounds like one. And what I mean is the AI voices that you can just get for like
Greater velocity to clear wider gaps. Discharge an auxiliary capacitor to overcharge your kinetic motors. This will result in a temporary boost in speed. If needed,
give her some personality, you know?
auxiliary capacitors from the power orb dispenser in the corner of the room.
Imagine if she had like a very unique personality. Imagine if she was sarcastic and she's frustrated by you, but she's kind of cute, you know? That's something that can really help these games. But right now I've just got a cold voice. But hey, by the way, let's talk about the positives. This looks amazing. Looks really good. I love all the texture work. The surfaces look awesome. It feels good to play. The movement feels good. What did she say? I was sitting here thinking. That feels good. Honestly, the movement feels really good.
It goes beyond my logical processing capabilities to understand why the engineers designed the next test to be so hazardous. Luckily, your shield should be able to absorb the damage. Shields draw energy directly from your onboard power grid, so be sure to keep an eye on your power levels.
I would
My advice would be to discharge
Yeah, I would cut the dialogue to like a sentence or two and have her say something snarky. You sure you can handle this shield puzzle, bud? I'll be waiting. That's it. And the actual teaching is done here, where I could just read at my own leisure. Your shield generator absorbs incoming damage while draining your onboard power grid. Power grid levels will increase while not taking damage. Press shift overcharge to overcharge your kinetic motors and clear the obstacle while your shields hold. I think I did that right. I don't know.
During field operations, you will find the management of power levels to be extremely important. You can use auxiliary capacitors to overcharge your onboard power grid. Overcharging your power grid will instantly restore some power. It will also trigger a plasma wave that may affect objects in the immediate vicinity. Feel free to...
You guys can't hear the game? What are you talking about? Do you just want me to turn it up? Is that what you're saying? Is that better?
Over there.
Is that better? Here. So there's no audio? I'm looking at it right now. Is that better? The game audio is too low? It's like almost full blast over here. Is that better? Okay. So while you guys were whining and complaining, I did get to read. I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. Overcharge your power grid by discharging auxiliary capacitors. Overcharging your power grid will unleash a plasma wave that deals damage to opponents while pushing them back. The excess plasma energy will also boost power grid levels. Press F to overcharge. That's cool. What? Overcharge your power grid by discharging auxiliary capacitors. Overcharging your power grid will unleash a plasma wave that deals damage. So what do I do? Do I kill them, I guess? Doesn't work anymore. Pressing F. Okay. What do I do, though? Guys, what do I do here? Does anyone have any clues? Press F to overcharge your power grid. Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
Equip and use the directed energy pistol to dissipate the hologram. Energy
Oh, give me a
buckets will
sound.
also
Come
draw
on.
Energy directly from your onboard power grid.
That doesn't feel super. There we go. It was the sound. That sound was an issue. There we go. That feels great. Cool. Here we go.
Ivo, are you still receiving me? This might surprise you, but that was not part of the test. Well, somehow you still seem fine. It seems you are built better than this facility.
This is cool. Oh, fun. Wait. Never mind. What? You can't. You got it. What? No. No. All right. Okay. That was unfair. I'm not rage quitting. I'm quitting in extreme frustration, but I'm not rage quitting. I say that was unfair. There was a collider clearly there, and I just fell through the roof. All right, next game. Anyway, let's take a look at the Steam page first. Don't vote for games just yet, guys. Kronostasis looks like a game with a lot of potential that is sort of bogged down by too much. It seems like there's just too much here. Like I don't even know, like, for example, a tutorial like that was completely unnecessary. That was some of the most basic stuff. Running, jumping, sprinting, using an explosion with your left hand and shooting a gun. That, honestly, you don't even have to teach that. You literally just grab up an orb and it says use with F. And it just says it next to your cursor or your crosshair. That's it. That's literally the only thing that needed to be taught there. So what you've done is you've added bloat to the game that will actually hurt the game, because players are going to quit. They don't want to do a tutorial. They want to like when I walked out and I saw those spaceships, I thought, awesome, this is great. It feels like Blade Runner. And then I fell through the collider. So that's a different problem. But I'm not a fan of starting games with these tutorials. But Thomas, Half-Life did it. Yeah, I mean, did it? Did Half-Life do it? I think Half-Life did it. But that was in the 90s. You can't do that anymore. Am I wrong, guys? I had trouble shooting the guys. Well, the tutorial didn't help me there. The tutorial didn't do anything there. So just because I had trouble exploding those guys with F, the tutorial didn't seem to help that at all. So it would have been just as fine had it been during gameplay and not a tutorial. Stick Guy says the tutorial is part of the game. Well, that's the problem. A tutorial should not be part of the game. Unless it's highly necessary. You got to hook the player pretty quick. Yeah. All right. Yeah, FPSs aren't made for brand new gamers. That's true. Yeah, all you need, Lex, I agree with you. A simple prompt while you're doing cool things in the narrative. That's absolutely true. Simple prompts that just tell you what to do while you're exploring the narrative. I love that. That's a great way to put it. Okay, let's take a look at this. Voron. I kind of get the hook. You're a bird, but I'm not sure what exactly the hook would be here. Why emojis? Okay. You are a raven with an important task. Guide lost souls to their new home. In this story-driven adventure game, you will learn how to fly, explore a Norse-inspired tiny open world, and don't forget to croak from time to time. That's what a raven does, right? Okay, what would we do here to make this flow a little bit better? Well, what are our hooks? You play as a raven. That's the mechanical hook. It's not much, but it's something. And I'll be the first to admit there's not much of a mechanical hook in my game. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. The story hook. Guide lost souls to their new home. If this had a visual... Look, if the visual hook was full on Edgar Allan Poe, super dark, that would be so strong. It's like black and white, and you're this raven with red eyes, and the music is like Tim Burton-y, and you're flying through, and you're guiding lost souls through these spiraling portals. That would be an awesome visual hook. Right now, the visual hook is okay. It's pretty. Yeah, it looks good. Toony, beautiful graphics. Okay, so it's good to get those down so that you can then write out your description here. Play as a Norse. Explore a beautiful Norse environment as you guide lost souls to heaven or something, to the afterlife. Play as a raven tasked with exploring a beautiful Norse environment, guiding lost souls to the afterlife. Don't forget to croak. From what is like to call? Is that what that means? To like make a sound? That's what a raven does, right? I don't think you need that. Tiny open world. That's not good. Just say open world. Explore a Norse inspired. Don't say inspired, just say Norse. Play as a raven tasked with exploring a beautiful Norse environment, guiding lost souls to the afterlife. Uncovering lost souls and taking them home to the afterlife. Play as a raven tasked with... Yeah, I think the way we had it was fine. Play as a raven tasked with exploring a beautiful Norse environment and uncovering lost souls to the... and bringing them to the afterlife. This word home here, to their new home, that is too abstract, I think, for a lot of players. I would recommend using afterlife if that's what it is. So, crows caw. Yeah, I don't think crows croak. Do crows croak or caw? Crows caw. They don't croak. Yeah. That's what they do. So, but that's not even necessary in my opinion. Play as a raven tasked with exploring a beautiful Norse environment. North skies. Exploring the beautiful North skies. Uncovering lost souls and bringing them home to the afterlife. They do croak. You think it's both? You might be right. Hey, let's talk about the positives here. I actually like this thumbnail art. I think it's pretty great. Visuals look really good. Like, this looks awesome. I need to do that more. I need to start with the positive. I'm sorry if I don't, guys. I love how simple this is. It's clearly an indie game in all the right ways. You know, it's not trying to be something it's not. So that's great. So let's go ahead and hit play here and take a look. So I feel like the task being mentioned 57 minutes in, I don't know. It seems like I would rather have that motivation given to me at the beginning, and then I'm much more, likely to stick through the whole trailer if you give me a motive at the beginning, something to set up some kind of payoff at the end of the trailer. It feels very, not a lot of sound is playing. So, did I already see that clip? Yeah, I've already seen that clip. That was here. So, I've seen that twice. Okay, I have a theory. By the way, that's a pretty good trailer. It feels pretty great. I think you could get a lot more done with that trailer. You could make a bigger impact by throwing in some extra sound effects. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can throw in extra sound effects on top of your gameplay to get a point or deliver a point to the viewer, because they've got a minute of time to watch this trailer. And so what you can do is you can actually throw in a bunch of extra sounds on top of the trailer to emphasize a key point. Okay, so for example, if we open up Premiere here, I could take a look at the Twisted Tower trailer, and I'll bring in the trailer for this bird game as well. But with this, you can see here with this trailer, one sec, here we go. You can see with this trailer, what we've got is I've added a bunch of extra sounds to the trailer. A lot of these aren't even transition sounds or like music. They're the teddy bear making a noise, or a screaming woman, and this section here. A trap door opening, a knocking sound. All of these are overemphasized in the trailer, and that's totally fine. There's a lot of trailers that I've seen where there's a refusal to add additional sound effects because the game's not done yet. And so they're just showing what the game is currently. But you really shouldn't feel bad for just adding sound effects as best as you can. So for example, okay, here's this clip here. And let's see what happens. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to add bird caw. So this kind of stuff can go a long way, and I'm gonna try my best to prove this to you. So I'm just gonna start opening up downloading sounds and adding reverb, dreamy reverb to things. So what you can do is start here. Put it right here. We'll do a little bit of reverb. I'm going to do a Great Hall, pretty wet. Drop down the volume. Okay, so you can have some personality added to the bird. We can add some whooshes. See if we can find a low whoosh. Whoosh. We could do wind cloth. That might actually work. Yeah, there we go. To capture the sound of those feathers. And I'm really hopeful this sort of proves to you, or this is worth our time. And my argument is it is. So we'll see. Okay, right there. We'll turn it up. Fade it out. Bring in another fade. There we go. Have it come up and then scale out right there. And then it comes in again right here. I don't quite fully understand why it's cutty like that, but we'll go really loud here and then fade it out here. It's a little too loud. One there as well. And then we also need a wing flap sound. There we go. I could probably increase the pitch on this, but I think that'll do. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drag this in here, and I can select the sounds like this. Okay, that one is great. Guys, this level of precision is not neurotic. Like, this is pretty straightforward for trailers. Let's find that wing flap. Where is it? Maybe one right here. There we go, one there. I'm gonna add a, there we go, right there. We need a flap right there. Okay, we might need to increase the pitch there because I can't hear it. We need a better sound. That one's too low. I think we're gonna have to make do with this one. We could do a higher pitch, but I think that'll do. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, right there. Okay, we got the dragon wings. Bring that in here. We'll make it faster, so we'll double its speed. So let's see here, right here. There we go. I'm gonna do 180%. There we go. There's another one. We'll do a lower one here. So it's whoosh, whoosh. So we're gonna do 160 or maybe 150. There we go. Right here, we're gonna add subtle. We're gonna put that right at the cut. Drop down the volume. Let's see if we can find another flap. We'll fade that in a little bit. And then this one we can fade in as well. There it is. There we go. So we've got our wind sounds and our wing sounds. And we'll do a transition sound here. Let me show you the importance of a cinematic transition. By the way, those of you just joining us, just remember you can join Full-Time Game Dev below for 25% off. Learn everything I've learned in the last 10 years making indie games. It supports the channel, supports the development of Twisted Tower, but more importantly, it does support you and your future, like it did for Chris here. He went full-time. Bart went full-time. Everflux Games went full-time. Lots of great reviews here. So you can get 25% off for 5 more days, so check it out below. Okay, cinematic transition. You guys ready? So you can use stuff like this to basically what you're doing is informing the viewer, hey, I'm about to change topics. I'm about to do a beat. I'm about to shift gears here. So here's how it works. Something like this. And then we can even cut it to be a 0 volume. So sound here. We could start the calls actually right here. And then watch this. We can actually transition from this. All this stuff I think is really, really important. You could go dry and wet. Right here is where it's no longer wet. Okay. So if we go super wet here, and then go super dry here with maybe a little bit of wet. Let's see what it sounds like. Let's go a little bit closer here. Okay, so there's that. I want to show it to you one more time. So just so you guys can see the value here, I wonder if there's other stuff we can add. Let me think here. You could add the sound of wind in trees. Oh, that's what it's missing. Golly. I think it is. Let's see here. You hear it there, but you don't hear it here. I'm thinking some big explosive wind. Maybe chimes? A subtle sound and ambience to shift gears. Yeah, it really does, guys. It really makes a huge difference. Don't be afraid to cheat. I need you to cheat. Marketing, guys, you need to go, you know what? I'm going to be Jeff Goldblum here. I'm going to be the Wizard of Oz, and I'm going to fake everything. That's what marketing is. Obviously you want to tell the truth, but you want to overemphasize the truth. And really, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to communicate a lot in like 5 seconds. And so you have to cheat to do it. So these wind chimes here, I think, are going to help a lot in this transition. Do right here. But look, you start with this. Oh, right there. Dude, we need a sound right there. Look, watch. Look at this, guys. Watch. Right there. Look, sound of wind or flying fast. Maybe we got something. You could just do wind cloth, and I think that'll do it, honestly. Don't we have one? I think we do. It's right here, this one. Reveal in project. So this is like, yes. Look at this. So you can throw this right here on this one. Because this shot right here is saying, hey, you can go really fast. Look how cool. Look how fast you can go. So overemphasize the point. Crank up the level of the volume of this wind, and we'll speed it up even. We'll do 150. And then this one's the river shot. So we're going to do this. We're going to cut to the raging river. How about waterfall? You want it to be a little bit more crisp. There we go. Let that load. So you can see here, we could even do a transition here as well. Look, let me show you guys I really want to overemphasize the value of these transitions. You don't want the player to be surprised, or the viewer to be surprised that there's a cut. So we could let that sort of tail out. This one we're gonna add 150, make it 150 so it doesn't sound the same. We'll fade that in. It's okay to fade in before the cut. See? We'll fade out after the cut. And then we got our waterfall. So this one, we're going to say, this is fast water, right? We're trying to say, hey, player, look, you can go over fast water. I'm going to cut. It's okay to just cut it. You could say, hey, player, look, you can go through rickety old buildings. So let's go Wood Creek. We'll download this. But Thomas, you don't hear these sounds in real life. Doesn't matter. It's a trailer. 80%. Definitely need a whoosh sound there. We're flying after all, right, guys? You want to cut at the peak of things. In editing film, you cut with the blink. So what do you mean? You're sold out of hamburgers. Cut. So tell me about your dream last night. Cut. It's the blink. Cut. The same is true when you're at the peak of a speed. You want to cut right when we're fastest. Shoo! So this is cutting a little late. It needs to cut right there. Boom. I could show it to you, by the way. So that's where we want to cut. So I can bring it right to here. See? Whereas this is what it was. So we'll crank this up here. Right here. Cut here. Give me that. Give me a swell. Give me something. Give me a swell or something. No, you need something there, some kind of transition. But anyway, let's look at this and then let's play the game. let's keep that that sound, actually, that transition sound. Okay, so again, let's start, and then we'll play the game. Let's start by showing you what it was without this. Okay, there's that, and then here's what it is with sound. Remember, the sound is going to tell us what to think. It's going to tell us that our mood should change, that we should focus on a new mechanic that's being showcased, or a new environment. We're trying to guide the player or the viewer's emotional state and also their knowledge about the product. And so you're doing it with sound. I'm trying to think of a best way to describe this. I have to get down on my knees when I'm talking to my kids. If I want them to listen to me, I have to say, I'm going to do something to show you that I mean this. And that's what these transitions are. And that's why changing the sound and cutting the sound really quickly. Like, this is such a fun feeling. Watch this. You're cutting between very strong emotional states and also very subtle and soft emotional states. So when you can do that with sound, you can guide the player's feelings and emotions. So here's what I mean. Let's watch this and then we'll play the game. That one was way too loud. To give myself some justification here. There we go. All right, so that's the idea, guys. Does that make sense? Was that helpful? Was it not helpful? I want to make sure that everything I'm giving you guys during these live streams is helpful. So please let me know. I don't want to be giving you guys stuff that's not helpful. What do you mean you can't see the trailer? What are you talking about? Yeah, that's right. It's right there. Yeah, I don't know. So was that helpful? I don't know. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and play Voron. I wouldn't rely on post-processing this much. Why are we starting with this? Do we need to? Really? Okay, margins. Make sure this margin's equal to that margin's equal to this margin equals that margin equals that margin. This can be half, that's fine, but it should this padding should be probably equal to the padding between these. So be very, very careful with your margins. There's no margins inside here. Look at this. You've got plenty of margin here, no margin here. This looks really unprofessional. Give nice breathing room to all of your UI. Breathing room. I can breathe. That's the key. I would say the foundation of good UI is breathing room. But this is beautiful. Isn't this music great, guys? Mirage says you were paid 2 messages. Seamus and TT want whoosh time, extra balloon times, more lucky loot boxes, NPC grenades, lobbing, NPC mutual chatter, mallet throw. Okay, no. But thank you, I appreciate that, seriously, but I'm not going to do that. There's just too much to do. But I appreciate it, seriously. Thank you so much for playing the demo. And also, let me try and change what I just said. Seamus, those are good ideas. They actually really are. But I just can't. I don't have time for any of that. There's already a billion bugs I have to fix. Mr. Melancholy, been watching your channel for a while. Great content to be sure. If you're not too busy sometime, could you check out my game, All the Stars? I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the money, but if I played your game, it would look like I'm letting people pay me to play their games, which I don't want to do. So the best way to get your game played is to follow me on X and post your game whenever I ask people to post their games. But thank you so much. Seriously, that means the world, Mr. Melancholy. I really appreciate that. I'm a bird. I'm waking up. I want to sing your song tonight and sing my mommy's birthday song. Oh, look at me go. It's precious. Whoa! What? This is great. You jack. Well, I shouldn't say that. This is great. Already, I love this. That's a lot of polygon or vertices. Look at all those vertices. That's a lot. You might want to do like a normal map. Oh, Mom, Dad. And Chris? Chris? Do you want to go play with Magnetiles, Chris? Very pretty. And performance is really good considering there's a lot of stuff being rendered there. That is so cool. I love that. 205 billion vertices. Mommy, Daddy, I feel a lot better now. Look, I'm so much faster. Woohoo! Let's go! Okay. So let's see. How do I fly? Dad?
Little ones. The All-Father once said, "You are free. Nature granted you wings, and I grant you the gift of speech, and actually what happens next doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're free. Now fly."
Daddy, I love you. Dad. Daddy. I love you, Dad. Daddy, Daddy, look. Dad. Daddy. I still can get up, Dad. I still can do this. I'm still... To fold your wings, it will increase your diving speed. Okay. That is too fun. I love this. It feels really good, guys. Slow down. Woo. To land, fly near the ground at a low speed. Check that out. This is awesome. It feels really good. I'm actually really impressed. Find your sister before the storm starts. Wait, it did start. Can I fly through that Bob Ross wig? I can. Look at me go. How high can I go? Do you think I'll see Dementors? Those clouds are freaking awesome. Oh, I'm so high! Wait, okay, so where do I go? The water doesn't look very good. I would change that water to be more toony water. It feels really out of place. This is very nice. I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I think there's some color issues. Like, the color, in my opinion, doesn't follow the best color grading.
I'm gonna show you guys what I mean in a sec to try and put my money. I don't know where she is though. Croak. Oh. This is great, honestly. Sister, do you want to go to McDonald's? Do you want a Big Mac? No, I want a McDouble. Hey, sis. Caroline, come here. I bet I'll get to the nest before you. This is so much fun. I just beat my sister. Of course I did. That storm is freaking awesome. I love that storm.
Sweetie, I was so worried about you. It's important to stay optimistic in any situation, so the storm is a great reason to go to bed early.
That animation is really good. Let's go to bed. How freaking cozy is this game? I am, oh, that scared me. Very much happy with what I've just experienced. Let's try this again. It's nighttime. Do you think we're gonna go see some ghosts? I have not played a demo that gave me this much joy in a while. Unlimited. What? Brightness. Crank up the brightness, eh? How do I... Wait. What am I doing? Sorry. King Spidey says Game of the Year. I think it's freaking awesome. I do think there's some color theory issues. Like, it feels a little mismatchy. And we'll talk about it. Mom is not in the nest. Oh, Mom, did you die? Maybe something happened? Did she get killed? Did she get hunted? Did she get hit by a car? Did she... Oh, Daddy, I'm so sorry. I haven't been pleasing to you. There's a noise. So where do I go? What's that noise? I hear noises. Okay, okay. Mommy! Have you been shot by a hunter? Oh, you're still alive. Dang it.
Sweetie, looks like you've inherited the soul gift. Wonderful. Try talking to it. It's harmless. For now, you won't understand some words because souls speak an ancient language, ancient dialect of our language. But you don't worry, I'll teach you the first word.
Okay. I don't feel like I was taught very well just now. A stick. I couldn't even remember how many years. Wait. Oh, this is a lost soul.
I couldn't even remember how many years I've been waiting. Can you...
Whoa. Immediately my mind went to a dirty place.
Can you save me? Save me. Let me teach you a new word. It's a thank you. Means coins. Thank you, young one.
You saved your first soul. How does it feel? Sorry, I was just so happy that I forgot myself. I hope the All-Father grants you the gift of speech. I would call him, like, King Crow. That's what I would call him. Awesome. Dude. Frickin' awesome. Okay, let's go through our let's get voting. Okay, guys? You guys ready to vote? Let's get voting on today's games. While you guys vote, I'm gonna shill. No, but in all seriousness, this video is sponsored by Full-Time Game Dev, which is my course, which actually does work. Some of my students have gone full-time, which is incredible, including Everflux, Bart, Chris. It's 25% off today for the next 5 days. So check it out below. See if you're interested in learning not only how to make games in Godot, Unreal, Unity, but also how to do the pitch deck, how to market your game, how to sell it, how to hit the Steam front page. Thomas, why should we listen to you? You should listen to me because I've done it multiple times. In fact, we just hit the Steam front page. I don't know if we're still there with the Twisted Tower demo. So that's like the third time I've hit this front page. So I kind of know how to do it. So check it out below. How to do Kickstarter, how to get funding from publishers, how to go full time with just a demo. It's a massive program. And if you're a student in the program, let me know what you think about it in the chat, and I'll give you a shout out. And by the way, if you enroll today, I will give you a shout out tomorrow, just like I did with these new students here. So check it out below. See if you're interested. The links in the description, guys, to go ahead and do the poll. There's no vote link. Okay. You guys are so picky. Like you can't do anything yourselves. Let's see here. I'm just kidding. Those of you who are on YouTube, you should see it in the link in the description. Really? You don't see it? Let's take a look. Oh, the voting link isn't there. Sorry. Okay, I've added the voting link there. Go ahead and vote, guys. I'm going to do it on Twitter as well. Twitch, I'm going to have to hop over to Twitch and do it. Dude, guys, Twitter has been great. Is that controversial to say? I was telling a friend of mine, he was like, he said he didn't like Twitter anymore. And I'm like, I'm getting crazy views on Twitter. This trailer, I've never seen numbers like this ever in my life on X. What in the world? Like, this is 5 times as many views as I've gotten for the trailer as YouTube. So I don't know if these are real, but it looks like they're real because we're getting a ton of comments. So I have no idea. I've been enjoying posting videos on Twitter. They get pretty good views. What am I doing? Oh yeah, let's go to Twitch here. And then I will show you guys, I will reveal to you what the final results are. But I will give you my numbers as well. Twitch, if anyone's on Twitch, just head on over to my Twitter and vote. I'm sorry, I'm not logged into Twitch for some reason. Go ahead and vote, and then I'm going to give you guys my breakdown. I'm going to give my breakdown first before I look at the results, because I think that would be unfair if I was giving my opinion before reading the results. Definitely Voron. That's the wrong. I'm sorry, guys. It's the wrong. No, it's correct. Voron, I'm definitely going to give that game 7.3 out of 10. I think it's amazing. I think that's a good score, by the way. I think that's a good score. There's some color grading issues. And in fact, I would love to show you kind of what I think you could do with the coloring to make it work. And, you know, this is just my opinion. I think there's a lot of color
but it feels really out of place. And also, I want to show you what we can do with the menu as well. So tell you what, we'll do the final results, and then I want to show you what we can do with the yeah, let's just look at the final results, and then I'll show you what we could do with the coloring. All right, is everybody voted? The topic of this stream is really interesting. Is this what you do regularly? Yes. Jason Montgomery says, I deleted Twitter and I gained back so much focus. Well, look, you know, my whole goal in all of this is to steal everyone's focus and have people follow me on Twitter. So I'm grateful for you losing focus. What was I saying? Oh, have we all voted? Please vote, guys. We've got 835 people watching right now. And I will tell you, I'm looking at the results right now. We've got 45 votes. Do you know how evil that is? You come in, you watch this, you consume all of this content, you hoarder. At least participate. Click the link below to vote. Use content. Okay, the votes are coming in. This is crazy. Tuck Mac, you weren't here for the verse. Yeah, don't vote. Guys, stop voting. I'm just kidding. If you haven't seen all the videos of the games, then don't vote. But for everyone who has, we've got 841 people here. Surely some of you have seen all the games. Next, I'm gonna rate Massi versus Josie, or sorry, Massi versus Jose. Look, as a game, it's fine. Let's say a 5-6 out of 10. But as a marketable game, it's something like a 4 out of 10. And there's a difference, right? Like this is a solid game. It's got Jazz Jackrabbit vibes. That's the first thing I'm thinking about. Does that even exist on Steam? Sure it does, right? Do you remember Jazz Jackrabbit? That was a great game. But like nowadays, you can't get away with not having a strong hook. So in terms of a marketable game, it's like a 4 out of 10. This game, I feel like there's a lot of potential here, but I'm going to give it it's hard for me to rate though, because I just did a tutorial. I'll give it a 6 or a 7. But I'm not sure. This one is hard for me. I'll be honest. I just feel like I don't have enough information. It took a while to get started. So yeah. Jason says Massi versus Jose sounds like a soccer match about to go down. All right, you guys ready to look at the results? Voron gets 81% of the votes. Overwhelming support for Voron. So Voron, Merc Games, you got yourself a winner. I think you've really got to hone down the UI is not good. It's not. Everything's off center and weird padding, and I think the color is actually pretty great. Or I'm sorry, the color in these screenshots is pretty great. It's when I'm playing, the color doesn't feel great. I wonder if we can just find, and also the marketing here. I would reconsider, your thumbnail and the trailer, because I feel like it really doesn't do the game justice. The game was awesome, but the marketing is a little tough. I wonder if we could take a screenshot of this initial artwork so I could show you guys. Would you guys like to see what I mean by I think the coloring is not correct? I could show it to you if you want. Yeah, this UI, I also want to redo the UI really quick. I wish I could get just this image here, but I'm going to screenshot this just so we know what our elements are, and then I want to show you guys how you just can make the UI look so much better. Let's go to a new game. It feels clicky and it feels good. and it's doing all the right things. It's reactive and okay. That's great for the screen, the menu. Okay, I don't have time for the coloring, so we're just gonna talk about UI. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the Photoshop, and I want to show you guys just how quickly we can make the UI look 10,000 times better, and it can look professional, and it can match the style of the game. The UI is supposed to be a garnish of some kind. It's supposed to, it's like earrings and bracelets and watches and shoes. It's an accessory to the overall style of the game. So if we open up Photoshop here, I'll pull it up. We can take a look at how we can make this UI match. There is a mismatch in this game, a mismatch of styles. Even the thumbnail art doesn't look like the game. So there's an inconsistency in color usage, and there's an inconsistency in UI and font. And marketing. So there's a mismatch of all three, and I think it's causing a problem. But what was the we had the logo. We'll grab the logo here, and with the logo, all I would do is I would just would get rid of this. I don't even know if that's part of the logo. If it is, I don't think it should be. And then remove that. There's a bunch of black touching, and it's difficult to see when it's small. So I would do a nice clean centered logo, white, something like this. It's hard to see. I wonder if we could but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how we can this is tough because it's so bright. Is there a better screenshot we could grab? Let's see here. Let's do one that looked similar. We'll do coloring like this, okay? Imagine this is the front, some kind of coloring like this for the main menu. Now we can actually put, white text here. I really wish we had a better screenshot. Let me try again. No, drop shadows on top of brightness like that is really ugly. I guess we could do backdrop like that, but I just don't like it. Yeah, we'll do that to make sure we're not drifting too far from the original intention. We can do that, okay? So what you want to do is you want to make sure everything's nice and even and clean. So we could do. Here's the menu on the left. I feel like left makes way more sense. Okay. So basically, great UI has breathing room, and it's even. And there's like a system in place, or it's systematic. It's like, okay, margins here are equal to here are equal to here. See how I just sort of did that by default? You don't even think about it. You say, of course these are equal. What a lot of developers do is they're like, oh, I like it there. That's cool. Okay. And then over here, we'll do our wish list button. It's like, what? No. Nice and clean. By the way, I was, not that it matters, because I really don't think that this matters, but I'm just letting you know that I did graphic design for, I think it was 3 years. But it was with B2B, so it wasn't like super cool projects, but we had to learn how to do clean, really clean UI. I don't know if you'd call it UI, whatever you call it, web design. I'm going to make these left aligned. And what you can do with this is you want your UI, what you want it to do is you want it to sort of reflect what the game's about, right? So if we go to Noun Project, we can actually, I gotta log in. Hang on. Let me log in really quick to Noun Project. Login code was sent to my email. One sec, guys. This is going to really help you, what I'm about to do here. You want your UI to be clean, simple, to follow a lot of rules and systems and be systematic, but you also want to throw in little flourishes, just tiny little flourishes of iconography and shapes that reflect what the game's about. Yeah, anyway, so let's see here. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to just type it in Google because Noun Project isn't working. Feather icon. Okay, I need to find a good one here. Okay, this is the one I want. Hang on, I'll turn my screen on. Hang on. Good. So we have a feather here. And I'm sitting here going, how could we incorporate this into our buttons, you know? You could definitely do this. Watch this, guys. I think this will really, really cool. If I do that, watch. This is actually going to be pretty cool. There's a rectangle, and I could just invert it. So that's a cool idea, right? Something like that. And then you could even take this, the top of it. Let's see here. If I grab the rectangle, rasterize. Hang on. What you can do is you can grab the come on, dude. Hang on. Grab the outside of it like that. And I can actually mask this inverted. So let's, I'm going to copy this and go back in time. Good. Paste it. Should be, oh crap. Trying to do this fast here. Yeah, look, you could do something like this. And you can grab the outside of it. I promise this will make sense. And then I can put it right here. So delete, select invert, delete this, and then make this white. Something like that. I could probably cut this out here. I don't know why it didn't paste in place, you know. It's kind of weird, but okay. Yeah. So you can do a button like that if you wanted to. So your buttons all have like a unique sort of feather shape. Or you could go back in time and you could simply take this and do this. So the one that's selected is a grayish pink, or maybe the green. Let's find a good color here. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know if the black text works, so let's find like a grayish color. There we go. That's the tone we want. Good, okay. All right, I can put that here. And you always need to be thinking when you're doing your sort of mock-up for your UI, you need to be thinking, okay, what does it look like selected and what does it look like not selected? So not selected is going to be this with no feather. And this is, you know, options. And that's just Garamond. I like serif fonts, especially for these sort of artsy games. I think that it's a beautiful font. We're just going to do quit for now. Or no, let's do credits. I can't remember what they were, but. And then this is quit. And if you ever feel like, man, you know what? There's a lot of space down there. It feels odd. The first thing you can do is say, well, I'm going to put everything down here. Center it up. And then the logo's up here. That's one way to do it. Or the other way to do it is to put something down there that's sort of a garnish. And it just balances it out. Like that. Right? So if you wanted to have someone wishlist the game, you would do something like this. I like to put wish lists in the menu, just right as another button. But what you can do is you could just make sure that it's nice and cleanly lined up with clean margins on all sides. So these are equal here. Wish list. Just like that. Is there anything else we're missing here from this menu? Why is the logo different there? There's two different logos, which is really confusing. Follow on Discord X, like a little message. Okay. So I would, the little message you could put as just regular standard text. Let's find some lorem ipsum really quick. Lorem ipsum. Good. It's not going to be all caps. Hang on one sec, guys. One sec. Shrink it. You could honestly just put it right here. It doesn't need its own box because you're creating a clash of priorities when you have a box over here and then you have more text in another box over here. It gets confusing. So to the best of your ability, if you can, try and put your note somewhere like right here. You could do an underlay. If you really needed, white text under there, you could do an underlay like this, right? So it's easier to read. I would, to sort of unify our color palette here, I'm going to use, you need to pick. You go, okay, look, this is my off-white. That's always going to be my white. So pick whatever your white tone is and stick with it, especially when there's already so much color going on. We want to have very simplistic color schemes here. So in my case, I'm going to pick like this off-white tone. I love off-white. I think we could actually get away with black here. I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then we can decrease the saturate or the opacity here. There we go. But when we hover, it'll go full like that. And then when it's not hovered, you're going to do off-white like that. See? Ooh, this looks good. This corner looks really good over here. So let's go ahead and do off-white for everything else. We're unifying the brand of this game. Okay, good. I think that actually looks really good. I'm not going to do black. Okay, let's see here. What about these guys? Yeah, that looks good. I think we should definitely probably... Who knows the problem with centering text? If we were to center this... actually, no, there's no problem. I'm wrong. We can center it. I'm thinking about other languages, but we're okay. Yeah, we can center it up. We could do this. Very cool. This is a little much down here, so instead we could probably do something like this. You could type in flourish icon, flourish icon. You want to obviously license these, but you could. I'm just doing this for this video. Yeah, the feathers are a bit much. That's cool down here though. Like the feather flourish is pretty cool right there. This is definitely too big, so we're just going to do very subtle. Color overlay. Good. And these aren't perfectly centered, so give me just a sec. There we go. I kind of like them down here. This needs to go above it. And this is going to be quit. And these aren't centered perfectly. That's the problem. I was wondering what the issue was there. And they're also not. They all need to be above it. Almost done, guys. Let's do, ooh, I like the white. That looks really good. And to make this not look so cheap, all we got to do is we can do a subtle sort of shift. There we go. Ooh, that looks good, Thomas. What else? We could probably gradient this. Why don't these center? They keep... There we go. Is that it? Yeah. Watch this, guys. This is going to be a really cool button. So anything that's highlighted or selected, we're going to do a really pretty gradient. So turn off the color overlay, and we're just going to see what happens here with this. Look at that. Yeah, you could do that, but I prefer a nice, simple white. And why don't we do one other thing? We'll do a nice outer glow to make it feel magical. And then a subtle. Let's delete that. This is one final thing, guys. This subtle gradient here. Yes, it looks, almost makes it look like a light bulb. It's glowing. Very subtle. Okay. So there you go. That's all I would do. So there's this, which unifies the brand. It's not perfect. It's something, though. Versus what we had at the original here, which this looks cheap and it looks like it's not a good game. But it is a good game. That's what's frustrating. It's a great game. But the UI is just pretty bad. So here's what we've got. And here's what it was. Does that make sense? So, was that helpful, guys? Goodness, we have 913 people watching. What the heck happened? Did I study graphic design? Yes, I studied graphic communications. And graphic communications it's print. But we learned about a lot of design stuff. But it's mainly like print technology and all that. But yeah, I mean, UI and graphic design, it's sort of, and in being obsessive about it and being obsessive about symmetry and cleanliness and margins, it's influenced like everything that I do. In fact, I think there was one review for the Twisted Tower demo. Somebody said, why do the maps have to be so symmetrical? And I harped on that with Felipe for years. I love things to be mirrored and clean and symmetrical and have breathing room and space and a pattern. And that's something that we've done here, you know. Wonder what would happen if you added an outline here. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do lately, guys. You could take this and you can do this. Go full opacity. I'll show you. Hold 1 sec. Shut up. Be patient. Rasterize. Come on. Just convert it to a freaking smart object. There we go. And you can do this. Isn't that cool? It makes it have like a shiny, it makes it feel like it's actually physical. Yeah, that would be cool if you, this is a big shader issue and you want to make sure that you're being very, very careful with this kind of stuff. If you wanted to do a blur like that underneath it, son of a, Photoshop changes all their menus. It drives me crazy. Oh! Yeah, so this right here, you could take this right here and do blur. Actually, put it on top. And you could do a little blur so it feels like glass. Like that. But that's a big issue with Unity. You know, it's a shader thing. And you have no idea how that shader is going to respond on, I don't know, Switch or a Steam Deck or whatever. So, okay, guys, any questions? questions? All right. Be sure to check out Full-Time Game Dev below, guys. You'll get 25% off for the next 5 days. The coupon will generate, the moment you click below, it'll generate a timer for you. You get 5 days to join. It does support the channel, so this is a sponsor for my channel, but it's my own sponsorship. So check it out below. I have 4,500 students worldwide. I know there's probably some students in the chat. Let me know what you think about the program. It teaches you everything that I've learned in the last decade of making indie games, from hitting the Steam front page to getting funded on Kickstarter multiple times, to signing with 3 different publishers, making 2D games, 3D games, everything that I've done and that I still do as a full-time indie game developer, I teach in this program. I'll also give you a shout out tomorrow during the live stream. Guys, I love you. Thanks so much for hanging out, and thanks for dealing with my sarcasm and my ad reads. And I genuinely do hope that this was really, really helpful to you guys. I love you a lot, and